Greetings fellow traders, this is Max and welcome to my Sunday market analysis where I'm gonna analyze the market and share with you my top trades for the upcoming week. And I have 5 pairs on my watch list for this coming week, and 2 of those pairs are pairs where I'm currently still holding a position, and I would like to give you an update on that position here in the Sunday market analysis. And now I will start with the pair CAD JPY. So we can see on the daily chart that we are here in still an uptrend. We are making new highs, have corrections, and a new high, a small correction, a new high. And this time it's not as big of a correction as we had down here, but this is not an issue for my strategy, because on the weekly chart I can see here that the price broke above this 108 round psychological level, which was also an area of interest here. We can see it has been resistance, then became support, resistance again, and now I hope it's going to turn into support again. So I want to see a weekly wick down, a small retest of this level again, just a tiny bit, or at least getting closer to this level. On the daily chart, we can see a Morningstar candlestick formation, which in this context is supposed to be a continuation pattern. It's a bullish sign that we have retested the area and now price is ready to head higher. We have swept the liquidity below this area, so that is good. And now what I would like to see through the market opening and the London session on Monday, I would like to see price come back down into the zone, long this candle just a tiny bit, and give me a higher high to enter this long position here. So for example, something like this down into this area, to then buy CAD JPY and profit off of the move to the upside. So it's a fairly simple break and retest trade as well, and a really nice small setup for me. The profit target would probably be either around this area here, the 110 round psychological level, or even as an ultimate target, the area around here, the 111 round psychological level. The next pair on my list is Euro AUD, and this is one of those pairs where I'm currently still in a position. And in this case, it's a long position. I have entered the position around this area here. And if you followed my free Telegram channel, which you can join at any time, I will put the link to it into the video description. You've received the regular trade updates that when I got into this trade, I've been in a negative for quite a long time, but now it turned back into a positive position here. And it looks like this is forming a flag pattern. And now price next week will hopefully head to the upside. And the reason, if we look at the weekly chart here, we can see the former weekly candlestick has left this nice wick here. So I hope this wick will be getting filled in the next week, and I expect it to have a little dip in the beginning of this week. So a little dip down here, creating the wick down of the following weekly candlestick. So it might come back into this round psychological level here, the 1.78 round psychological level. That could totally happen. And then I expect price to head further to the upside. It could of course happen that price is going to head to the upside immediately. And one of the first profit targets is this 1-to-2 risk reward ratio around this area here, but I totally see potential for price to actually reach those highs again. It's just a small trade update on my Euro AUD trade. The next pair I have on my list is Euro GBP, and this is also just supposed to be a small trade update when I entered around this area here. And right now price had created this kind of also flag pattern formation, and it looks like we're breaking out now with this beautiful engulfing daily candlestick here. And I believe that price in the coming week, after creating this nice wick here, will continue higher to the upside, of course, with first off a small wick down, but then a continuation to the upside. I don't expect it to have a huge retest of this area here again. If it does, it might stop me out, but then it is what it is. It's just a rather small position, as you probably know if you followed my channel. This week is not giving me the greatest setups, so there are only 2 pairs left now for the Sunday market analysis, and I'm going to continue with GBP JPY here. On the weekly chart, we can see that the recent weekly candlestick closed clearly above this area of interest here, the weekly area of interest. And what I want to see price doing now is have this wick down, basically retesting this area here, and especially creating maybe on the daily chart a neutral day here, and then I hope it's going to continue to the upside. And on a lower time frame, I would look for my entry signal here for a long position on GBP JPY. It's not the cleanest setup in my opinion, but it's one of those setups that I believe could play out this week, that I found now and that I put on my watch list. So If price comes back into the area and it's giving me my entry signal, then I might take a long position. Unless my 2 other trades are still running, then I will skip this trade because they consist of most of my equity. And already the final pair for the Sunday market analysis is going to be NZD CAD. So in the weekly chart, I want to start on the weekly chart first. You will see why. So in the weekly chart, we have this area of interest here and a round psychological level to 0.82 round psychological level. So the price has closed below this area now on the weekly chart, leaving this gigantic wick. And this is indicating to me that there's probably going to be a wick fill after we have the wick up here. And this is why I am actually looking for a possible short position here. On the lower time frame, for example, the 4 hour, we can see a rejection of the 50 EMA here with this, nice rejection candles. And even on a lower time frame, we can almost see a shift of structure here. What I'd like to see ideally here is some kind of neutral day around this area here. Testing it now a second time, maybe sweeping some of the liquidity sitting above here. We kind of had the retest of this area here already, but this wasn't really a clear breakout for me, so I do not count this for my strategy. I will just focus on this area here, and if price decides to come back once again here and is getting rejected violently, I'm looking for a possible short entry here and a short position on NZD CAD. The first profit target will probably be this area here, but I could totally see potential of it going as low as the 0.80 round psychological level. Maybe not that low, but for now the 0.808 level, somewhere around this weekly area of interest down here. For the coming week, I only expect a wick fill, but then the further push maybe in the week after. So I would need to be patient here, but also be patient with the entry and not enter too early. But as I said, most of my equity is in those other 2 trades, so I will probably skip those if those other trades are still running. And that's already it for today. I have analyzed the other pairs as well and set alarms there. They're just not giving me the greatest trade setups right now that I am looking for, so I only have those 5 pairs on my watch list here. But if one of those alarms on those pairs is getting triggered, I will have a look at those again and see if I can find a good trade setup. I will then share it in my free Telegram channel, which you can join at any time. I will put a link to it into the video description. I'm posting regular trade updates of my running trades there when I enter a trade and when I exit a trade. You will also find a link to my other socials there. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching. I wish you a successful trading week. Remember to manage your risk properly and see you next Sunday.